Hi everyone, I'm Patrick from North52. I'm here today with my colleague Bruce to talk about how North52 can help insurance companies with first notice of loss and claims processing systems. Bruce, in a previous discussion you showed us how North52 and the Microsoft Power Platform can be used for streamlining and automating the claims to policy process. However, now I'd like to take a look at making claims using the same system. What is the main benefit of using a business rules engine to automate the claims adjudication process?
Well, really, it helps with making that process more efficient and more accurate. It leads to reduced claim times. We can also talk about lower costs and then ultimately more satisfied customers.
Can you describe the components involved in implementing an automated claims process for dental insurance using North52 Decision Suite, Microsoft Dataverse, and Power Pages?
Sure. Power Pages is the web platform that enables customers to submit that first notice of loss. North52 powers the rules behind the forms and the decision logic. For example, when a customer is interacting with that form, we might be showing and hiding or validating the information that they put on that form. Then Microsoft Dataverse provides the database behind it that stores all the information that we're submitting. There's some other rules that happen on that submission of that data. North52 Rules Engine powers those rules as well.
What are some of the coverage and restriction records that policies can have, and how do they affect the claims process?
Well, we're not really bound by any kind of restrictions and what we can cover or what we can't cover, but for the dental insurance demo system that we've shown, the types of restrictions for coverage could include things like the term of insurance, e.g. how long the policy is, whether that's a rolling 24-month period or 12-month period.
Sure.
The claim limit per treatment type, so for example, you can only claim for one tooth, a particular tooth in a given year. And how much the deductible is, how much are we willing, what percentage are we willing to pay out for that particular treatment type. So for some treatments it might be 50%, for example.
Sure.
And then maybe whether there's a waiting limit before the coverage starts. Some treatments you might say, well, you've got to wait 6 months before the policy will cover those. So all of these limits are evaluated when a claim is processed, and the North52 Rules Engine determines that using all that logic that we put in those rules.
What is the purpose of the decision tables and how are they used in the claims adjudication process?
Well, decision tables contain the logic that we use to evaluate claims. And a decision table will be often made up of multiple sheets, and each sheet has some decision logic to process that claim, validate whether there is that coverage is available. Then maybe another sheet will be looking at what is the claim limit for that thing, and so on. And then eventually we will get to a point where we'll say whether the claim is valid or not.
Okay. Can you explain, Bruce, how the North52 rules are defined and then used to make automated decisions during the claims adjudication process?
Yeah, the rules are defined in the decision tables using a variety of the 500 plus functions that we have available within the North52 Rules Engine. For example, one of the first checks for a claim will be to determine whether the treatment type that they're claiming for is actually covered.
Sure. Secondly,
we're going to be looking at whether the date of loss is after the coverage start date and before the coverage end date. And then the rule itself will use a query function to find all the different parameters associated with that particular treatment. And then it checks those values against the conditions that are set up in the decision table.
Okay.
If that validates, then we move on to the next check and so on.
Okay. How do the rules change when a claim exceeds a certain threshold and needs to be evaluated by a human team, for example?
Yeah, well, in our demo scenario, the rules are actually quite simple. We've got years of customer loyalty, we've got the number of previous claims, and we also take into account the automated adjustment amount, or the amount that we've discounted if that was a factor within the decision-making process. And if that is less than a threshold amount, then it will go through. If not, the claim is given a status that means a person must follow this up, and there will be a certain number of tasks that they need to do that on a manual basis.
How can customers access their policies and create claims using Power Pages?
Yeah, so Power Pages allows insurers to provide a secure access website to their customers that can be secured by two-factor authentication as well for extra security.
Yeah.
It also allows customer data from Dataverse to be surfaced, so their policies, previous claims, history, etc. Can be shown on that website as well. And what we're using really is the out-of-the-box forms functionality, layered with North52 rules, which allows us to do things like field validation, showing and hiding sections based on certain criteria. And then obviously once that form information is submitted for a claim, we can go through the claims adjudication evaluation process. And this is all without using any custom code whatsoever. No JavaScript written, no C# code. It's all being done within the North52 rules engine.
Are there any limitations or drawbacks to using the North52 Decision Suite for claims adjudication? If so, what are they and how would they be addressed?
Yeah, really the only limitation we face is that the insurer will need to be committed to using the Power Platform. But on the other hand, that's not really a limitation. We see that as a massive advantage because it allows an insurer to develop a system using North52 and the Power Platform at a much lower cost than other competing systems.
How can insurance providers benefit from using automated claims processing, and how can that affect things like customer satisfaction?
Well, automated claims processing helps insurance companies streamline their operations. It will reduce costs, it'll provide faster and more accurate service to their clients. And by improving this speed, accuracy and transparency to their clients, it's going to have a positive impact on that customer satisfaction. And then obviously that will hopefully build stronger relationships with those customers who are more likely to return and potentially buy more services.
What advice would you give to any insurance companies out there that are considering using automated claims processing using something like Microsoft Power Platform and North52's Decision Suites?
Well, obviously, they need to get in touch with us either directly or via their Power Platform partner. There's a lot of information on our website at north52.com. You can email us at sales@north52.com as well. And we, of course, we'll be very happy to do a demo. And if we can take some of their requirements, we can do a proof of concept as well to show them how it's going to work.